Hey, may I say a few words to you that I hope are encouraging and thought provoking? Well, thank you for wanting to share with me. So, I'm thinking about how long we've been out of the assembly, how long we haven't been at church since the corona. And I'm thinking it's been a long time. And I've realized a lot. There's some pros and some cons. The pros is I thank God for the time, just He and I. I thank Him for the quietness, not so rush time, the not being so busy. I thank Him for our families being able to come back together, you getting close again. And I just thank Him for still time. Some of the cons and I may come back to the pros too, but some of the pros, no, cons, which one? Cons, is that I realized, and I'm not sure, have anybody reached out to you? I realized that nobody's really reached out to me at the assembly. We were faithful. We went there all the time. And don't get me wrong, I understand you can just easily be missed because there's so many. But what about when you're participating? What about when you're hands-on? And it can get a little thought-provoking when you realize that if you pay tithes, I won't say pay, if you give tithing and you offering and you're there a lot, you would hope that someone would remember that they don't see you and give you a call. One of the cons of being away since this whole corona is you're not in touch with anybody. The Assembly of Christ has been forsaken, and you have to sort of kind of build your own relationships. Thank God that He said that the kingdom is, don't look for the kingdom here or there, but the kingdom is within. So thank God that the church is inside of us. I really do want to address this situation. I am studying in CBS with a group of women the book of John, and there's been a lot of good information in here about the time when Jesus was. Even though Jesus was, Jesus still is. And when it came to speaking with the Pharisees, Jesus, the Pharisees thought they knew. I mean, they just knew that they knew all about God because they had, I don't even know what they had. They had scrolls, writings. They had something to make them believe that they knew all that they needed to know about the God they had never seen. And then the God that they never seen was actually wrapped up in the flesh and was standing in front of them, and they did not recognize Him. And they hated Him for saying that He was who they thought He wasn't. This time has caused so much distancing that I would like to implore you guys to be more attentive when you meet somebody, even if it's in a passing moment, because the light of Jesus is in you and it's in me. And so when you see me, you should see Christ evident. And when I see you, I should be able to witness the same. And I'm hopeful that we would not rely on the assembly in order to be good people and to share the gospel, because you don't have to. According to the word, you have the power in you. You have the life of God in you to do what Jesus did. And I want to encourage you. I hate it when I'm looking for something. Okay, got it. I want to encourage you to think that you too can experience that kind of intimacy with God. I'm going to put it in first person. I too can hear your voice clearly and obey you courageously. I too can share my faith without sugarcoating it or being ashamed. I too can stand alone knowing you are with me and my trust is in you. I too can serve the needs of others even when my own needs are unmet. I too can pray with forgiving confidence in you and your promises. I too can be used by you to turn people's heart back to faith. I too can stare into uncertainty and you'll never fail. I hope that we as people during this time come together, and I'm not talking about in the assembly, I'm talking about wherever you are, wherever you have to go, with Christ in mind, to be that servant that a person needs you to be at the time. There's so many things that are going on in people's lives. People are lonely. People feel forgotten. People feel lost. They are definitely uncertain. And the people that they thought they knew were leaders have failed them. And so we as children of God individually, we have to be who we are all the time. You can't take a rest and say, I'll do it next year or I'll do it next week. Every day when you go out, you need to be mindful that when people see you, they see Christ, and not be like the Pharisees and think that you know, because you don't. And so since we don't always, now that our eyes are open and our ears can hear, we know the truth, and the truth does set us free. So I believe in this time, since the church has been dispersed, the building, so to speak, as the people in it have been dispersed, we now can grow into God for ourselves and let Him teach you how to be, and praise Him and worship Him, and don't forget, and reach out and touch somebody, smile at somebody, be a lifter up of somebody's head, be a joy to somebody. I know there's such thing as this virus, but sometimes people need a hug. If you find a person that need a hug, give them a hug, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we should do, because we are children in the light. And while we have the light, we need to be in the light and follow the light, and not be in the dark where we can't see. And I thank God He said, no matter, like David was in the dark and he said, darkness is as light to you. That means God can see us and reach for us and get us out of darkness. So hold on to His unchanging hand, and don't let these times deter you from the one true living God, who is able to keep you, who is able to do it exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think. He is. He was, He is, and He is still to come. I hope that you are encouraged, because you are a living, breathing vessel of God's. You are an instrument of His. Allow Him to teach you how to be used by Him. God bless and keep you.